Gentlemen, like, what an absolute fucking pleasure to have you guys on.
It's a treat.
It is.
Pleasure's all ours, guys.
Although
we don't get up early for many folk. We don't get up early for many folk, but we're up early for you boys.
Stop it. You guys didn't tell us we're wearing moustaches, though. What's that about? We didn't.
Come on, did you not get the memo?
We got no memo.
Fuck.
It's 2023. We're resorting backwards. We're going back to the mid to early 70s now. So next time we'll have bell bottoms and all that.
You'd look.
Well, there's that, and there's no money in this heavy metal thing, so I've been doing porn on the side.
That makes complete sense. I thought I knew your face from somewhere.
Are we going to incorporate the bell bottoms and the porn into the live show? That's what I want to know.
I'm already doing the bell bottoms, man, but the porn, we're not quite advanced enough as a race to allow that shit to happen on stage. And I need both my hands for the guitar, and that's kind of in the way of the important. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way. I'll get there.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing I want to take away from this, but that can-do attitude.
So first things first, I just want to personally say thank you for writing such a, and I mean this in the nicest way, such a disgusting album.
Thank you. It feels like it's the time period for it. It's there's nothing for it in this era of the planet than pure disgust. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
It is. It's so chaotic and strange and quirky and beautiful. It's very, very interesting.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we've been talking about doing a heavy project together for years and years, and I guess at this stage, if we hadn't done it now, we've kind of managed to collate all of our influences, stuff from alternative rock all the way to like experimental nonsense, and we've just kind of collided everything together, and it's kind of come out this way. I guess this is our kind of translation of making a heavy fucking record, and as I say, it was this time period just felt like the right time to just spit some bile. It was the only way to get through the last few years, to be honest, is trying to channel that negativity in a positive way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's an age of disgust. So like, if we'd have done this when we started talking about it fucking 20 years ago or something, it would have been, I don't know, maybe it would have sounded like Poison or something, but I'm much more pissed off now.
Yeah, yes, the aggression.
I'm joking, of course.
Hey, I'd like to hear a pissed off Poison.
Mike actually has the chops. Mike has the chops to be the new CC DeVille. That's the worrying thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every rose has its spawn.
This is over sexualizing this band. This is a great.
Really is.
It's not sexy. We are not a sexy band.
Hey,
we leave that for our day jobs, man.
Don't cut yourself short. Sex appeal's flowing. It is an interesting thing though, because the general trajectory of most bands is over time, even if they start heavy, they tend to get a bit more of a polished, cleaner sound and move away from that. You guys have really done the polar opposite. That's fucking cool and fun. What did take you so long?
I guess our day job, we play in Biffy Clyro a lot, and that's been kind of filling our time. And when people want to come and see us play, we just want to keep touring. So it took the pandemic to kind of slow us down, and we'd kind of formulated all these ideas over about a decade. So we had plenty of musical concepts, kind of inspirations, but we hadn't actually started making the music. And then just before the pandemic, Mike started just going to town on his guitar and
writing music.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Safe musical sex. But it was really took this long to find the time, to be quite honest. And it's one of my pet hates is when people they maybe do a band or they do music for a long time and they go and do a different project and it sounds basically like a mildly different version of what they're doing, but they just want their ego to show, hey, this is what I can do myself. And Mike and I always wanted to collide. We wanted this collision to feel like a fucking explosion. We've been waiting for a long time. And
back to Poison, I'll bet that Bret Michaels has done some solo stuff that I've not heard, but I'll bet you it sounds a lot like fucking Poison.
Yeah. I think he's big into early Carcass. That's what I think. I think.
Yeah, imagine it's like, there's always been a death element to my music, man.
Could you imagine that?
We computer faction influence on the air and talk dirty to me. You know?
You know, I didn't pick up on that before.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I mean, like, look, when listening to the album, obviously, you know, Simon, you've got such an iconic vocal, and Biffy Clyro are so monumentally huge that there's moments where it's like, yes, I know it's you, but it doesn't sound like Biffy in the slightest, which when you do have such an iconic vocal, you know, it's like, it's kind of very hard to remove that voice from what it does normally. But you guys have managed to do that really, really well. And the music goes from so abrasive to so strange, like almost like Mr. Bungle-esque in parts. And it's just such a weird sort of like ebb and flow. And I think you guys have done really well in, you know, with the songwriting, making sure that it does justice to your voice doing other things.
Thanks so much, brother. Yeah, I guess our first kind of mission statement was I didn't want to sing. It was going to be entirely no melody. And that was a reaction so that when I started working the record and working on Mike's songs, that it didn't end up in Biffy world, because as soon as I hear a melody, I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, I want to fill it with harmonies. I want to kind of make it feel optimistic and inspiring. And this wasn't the project for that. This music didn't need that. So the few little bits of melody actually came at the last minute when the songs were kind of telling me that they needed just that little bit of levity and that little bit of kind of, for want of a better word, godliness, of that kind of like sprinkle of celestial kind of power. And it helps, you know, it's the old cliche, it helps make those really guttural screams and that kind of shrieking feel even more intense, you know.
Yeah, the juxtaposition stands out way more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if it was only pummeling it the full way, it kind of loses a little bit of that impact as well. You know, a lot of my favorite records do just go fucking 100 miles an hour. But for this one, because we've done so much different type of kind of guitar music over the years, it just felt important to kind of bring in, be honest and sincere and not deny ourselves parts of our personality. So it was channeling pure rage and then kind of letting our characteristics and our eccentricities come in. But Mike has to take almost all the credit. You know, all the guitar work and the arrangements came from Mike. Look at those biceps. That's a left arm that means business. And so yeah, I got to come in and
comes upside down.
I got to come in and do the Lars Ulrich bit, which is where I feel really, really talented, but all I'm doing is moving some pieces around.
Yeah, he definitely curated this whole mess. I just kept throwing shit at him, and just miraculously, nearly all of it stuck. But it took Simon's sort of curation to, and obviously his incredible voice to make it all hang together, to make all the songs kind of friends with each other. You know, you mentioned Mr. Bungle, who are you know, a fucking vast influence on me. You know, I saw them back in '95. You know, they were just one of the most subversive and confounding bands I'd ever seen. And what do you know? We just ended up getting their fucking drummer in the band.
Yeah. How the fuck does that happen?
Exactly. You know
just
what?
Give him a shout. All you gotta do is ask.
Whoever's on your mind, just write them an email, be really polite, and hope they don't have much going on at the moment.
I have manifested Dave Lombardo.
It was Mike, when he was writing the tunes and kind of demoing, he would put names next to each track. So the bass was Shane Embry from Napalm Death, guitar was Tony Iommi, and drums was tagged Dave Lombardo. And we didn't know this was going to become an active band. We knew we were excited by the record, but we didn't really know if anyone would want to kind of join us in the journey. So because it was the pandemic, we knew Dave wasn't touring, but he was in Suicidal Tendencies, the Misfits, Mr. Bungle, John Zorn, and many others. So, you know, he doesn't stop. But we sent him an email, said, here's a tune or two, are you interested? And he got back within like 24 hours and said, right, when do you need this done by? I'm fucking turned on. And that kind of was a shock to me and Mike, because that was the moment it became real, and we very much became teenagers again, going, fuck's sake, Dave Lombardo's tune.
That's a great thing, though. You like the enthusiasm about your own band. Then I think that translates through as well. Like, obviously playing live, you had that, but just even on record, like you can hear there's like an energy and an excitement in it. Obviously,
Thanks,
because you're
brother.
playing across a bunch of different like influences and what's inspired it. But there is that like underlying feeling to the whole thing, which I think is really exciting.
You know what's
Well, we're
insane?
looking forward to, on the next record, just, hopefully it'll be all four of us actually making the record with Dave and Naomi so that we can keep that fucking enthusiasm and energy like maxed out, because we don't want to ever sound like we're phoning it in, and we certainly weren't on this record, even though it was made remotely, which is not a course of action I recommend anybody take, because it can make for some pretty fucking boring bedroom hobby bullshit music. But this, like, Dave Lombardo doesn't phone it in. He just fucking doesn't. And so he really brought the songs to life for us.
Again, I think it's because it does sound, it's a really lively record. It sounds like it's crawling like the speakers, and the fact that we didn't make those sounds in a room together still blows my mind. Me and Mike have been lucky enough to make probably over a dozen records each, and this is the first one we've done remotely, and it's still, it kind of goes against everything we've learned. So it's like, so maybe you don't need to be friends with the people in your band. That's
Hey, let's be honest, most people in bands aren't friends anyway.
It's so true. I'm sure you guys have behind the curtain a couple of times as well. It's like it's sadly it's more true than not. But you can tell when you meet a band or you hear music and there's something kind of connecting folk. I think that's a special thing. And we felt that, me and Mike have had that for 20 years. And bizarrely meeting Lombardo and Naomi, our bass player, it feels like we're all siblings from another mother. Like, I can't say brothers from another mother because Naomi's involved, but it honestly, it felt like we've been waiting to come together. We've all been waiting for this project and this band and these songs for different reasons, but it's all come into our lives at exactly the right time. And
that's it.
And that's something
it was our density.
It was our density.
So going from recording separately, there's a real era sounding production on the album. Like, I hear it as being like a 2008 to 2016 sounding production. Don't know where I pulled those numbers from. That's
pretty niche, man.
But actually, it sounds like I hear elements of being like, oh, that sounds like Dillinger Escape Planning. And then there's songs that's like, oh, that sounds like a bit of Cancer Bats in there. But then you guys have obviously referenced like a lot of more old school metal and heavier acts that have inspired you. How did you land on the production sound that you went with?
Adam Noble was the guy in charge of the faders for the mix. In terms of production, it was all just done at different studios, so we just put it together as best we could, and and luckily for us, it came together very much in the mix. It wasn't expertly recorded for the most part. That's really awful to say. Actually, Tom Peters recorded the guitars absolutely magnificent.
What a fucking insult that!
Oh my God! What a total prick! Can you cut that out? Fucking time out, man. It was recorded magnificently by state-of-the-art, world-class engineer Tom Peters in Liverpool.
He's a huge fan of the channel as well. He's a huge fan of the channel.
Oh God! A lot came together in the mix, it has to be said.
The amazing thing was because we did it remotely, Vennart didn't use any pedals or anything. He just used one mat amp, one guitar. Lombardo works in a very specific way. Some of the drums, there's only 2 mics on the drum set. So a lot of the kind of production decisions were kind of made in the recording, which I think is for anyone making music out there, that the less decisions you have to make at the very end, the better. If it doesn't sound good at a certain point, then it's not going to fucking just magically sound good when you spend more time. There needs to be a quality to start with. And Adam was just amazing the way he kind of just took things and just placed them in the right way, buried the vocals just the right amount, gave enough, like, I mean, Vennart's guitar tone, he describes it as a sonic bath, and that's kind of what it is. And it's trying to get that translation onto the record, which can be hard, especially because a lot of people listen to their music through their fucking phones and shit. But even then you're getting that wash of frequency. That's what I like to think.
So you guys have obviously been, playing music for quite a while. And Mike, you've been with Biffy as a touring guitarist for what, 10, 12 years now?
About on and off 15.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is this kind of the rejuvenation that you guys maybe needed or didn't know you need, and just has breathed a whole new life into just even the way you view Biffy as well?
It's just ultimately for me, it's sort of shining a light through a different circuit of my brain that I didn't really know was there. It's something that when I left Ocean Size in 2010, this was the kind of music that I had in mind, but I just didn't have the fucking heart to do it. I just couldn't find it. I couldn't light up that circuit in my brain, and just something, a fucking switch got flicked about 4 or 5 years ago, and it fucking came pouring out. It's not that I've been in any way like jaded with life at all. I just love playing guitar for Biffy. I love making my own records. I still get excited, but at the age that I'm at, which is a lot older than you think, I believe that I get to do this. Good guess, man. Keep it coming.
Yeah, I pride myself on being the oldest on this channel, so keep it under 41 and we're good.
I think part of it was Biffy did an unplugged record, and we did it was a brilliant fucking tour, but we did all these kind of opera halls and things, and it was a really grown up kind of almost theatrical kind of stripped back, theatrically stripped back. Wow, what a great fucking sentence that's. But it was very much a specific thing. It was kind of like an evening with us and our music, and I think that was almost the start off point to know that we needed to do this next, because whatever, even with Biffy, when we did the kind of unplugged stuff after doing a bunch of stuff that was really kind of felt heavy and electronic, so everything we do is a reaction to the previous thing.
Sure.
And I think without the unplugged tour, that kind of made us realize, let's do something that's fucking just complete mayhem.
Yeah.
And also, this is a kind of type of music that you're not really trying to make friends. Like you don't make a record like this because you're trying to pick up the casual punter. We're doing that. And I think whenever you make music for a long time, sometimes your brain can become preoccupied with what other people think.
Sure.
And something like this is a great reset to go, you know what? It's really just about fucking getting together with folk you like, making music you like. And we always try and reset Biffy every few years in that way as well, so that myself, Ben and James, and obviously Mike as well, and Gambler, it feels like we don't know what we're doing again. We're on this new adventure, because as soon as you're aware of the next step or the routine or the habit of it, that kills inspiration, it kills creativity. And that's why most bands after 20 years do sit down and do their acoustic albums, and they're kind of, hey, I've learned how to I've met a guy that plays the oboe, so he's going to be in my next fucking record. It's like, I want to meet a guy that's fucking like Dave Lombardo. That's who I want.
Yeah. You did it.
Yeah, you did it. Well done.
What has the response been from Biffy fans towards this so far? Have you paid attention to that much? It'd be hard to obviously look away from it, but what has the response been like?
We're lucky that we're not under any illusions. The first wave of people that would listen to this music were more than likely Biffy fans, and we do feel like a big kind of community and a big family.
Yeah,
it's not for everyone that loves Biffy. It's the most extreme end of what Biffy do. So I think in the first few shows we had a few curious people who thought that me and Mike were going to do these kind of progressive, kind of epic rock songs, and then when they heard us, I think they were a little bit appalled. But you know what? That's fucking fine. And the main thing is, we feel the sense of support. Even the people that like Biffy, they know how much Biffy means to us and how it's in our DNA. And this is just us going on a different adventure for a while. So there's been a lot of support, even for people that don't necessarily like extreme music.
Yeah. Okay.
But as I say, it's a tough thing to explain, really. Because how can someone who doesn't like your new fucking record support you? But there's a vibe in the air.
Yeah.
And I think that's most important.
In the last couple of years, you've also, and I don't know whether this is contributing, but like you've contributed vocals to some bands that are probably outside of your realm a bit more, like doing stuff with Architects and with While She Sleeps. Do you think that helps potentially put your name in a heavier space and give a bit of like a foot in the door at all?
I mean, I guess now you've said that, it probably did. I mean, it wasn't a conscious decision. You know, I've been fans of those bands for years, and a lot of it was to do with timing. Whenever we've been touring non-stop for about 15 to 20 years, so even the opportunity to sing in those records only came about because of fucking pandemic and everything. So, yeah. I guess we've always loved metal music. We've always loved heavy music. The opportunities haven't always been there, you know. But the main thing is our own stuff has been kind of taking priority for so long. And I think maybe doing that, just realized, you know, it just made me enjoy making a fucking racket as well. So you're probably right. It probably did open a little, you know, portal in my mind. And in fact, just when I say portal, the Australian band Portal are just one of the most terrifyingly intense and best.
I didn't realize they were Australian. No way.
Yeah, they're fucking Australian, man.
Man.
So sorry.
Oh, and here's a thought I had right now. You'll fit in real well with us.
I feel like you know, I've never seen Biffy live, but all the footage I've seen is, you know, it's quite an intense live show anyway. It's going to be interesting seeing, you know, not that the music doesn't match up, but it's going to be interesting seeing such intense music to go with what is generally a pretty intense performance. How have you approached it in that sense? Is there any pressure to sort of do anything differently? Does it make you just naturally perform these songs differently?
Well, Simon's channeling his inner Henry Rollins these days. It's quite terrifying. Just seeing this guy without a guitar, he's just got a fucking different energy. I mean, he's intense as fuck with Biffy, but seeing him do this, I'm like, whoa, it's just feral, man.
I think it unlocks a different part of all of our brains. You know, Mike, when he plays with Biffy, probably plays within his capabilities a lot more. But this, you're playing right in the edge of your technique. You know, you don't really drink before the show. I definitely drink before the show because I feel naked without my fucking guitar. So we are inhabiting these different parts of our brains. You know, I've been wearing short shorts at the gigs over the summer, and part of that is to just fucking feel ludicrous to begin with, you know, to just feel this is absolutely ridiculous, and you're just putting yourself out there to almost to be mocked, and then you fucking grab people by the back of the head. And so the intensity is right on the edge the whole time. I certainly feel it as one of the most physical gigs that I do, and Biffy is a physical gig, but even just the act of having my headquarters of the guitar and having a mic stand, you know, and I think Mike feels the same. And
well, we deliberately went for the sort of business look as well. We're all suited and booted on stage just to sort of piss off the metal gatekeepers, really, because it's like, you know, it doesn't matter how heavy you are, somebody's going to say, that's not metal, and it's like, well, we'll make it even more fucking frustrating for you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I've always enjoyed wearing suits on stage because it just makes me feel like a fucking mean business.
Oh,
and I don't feel
Literally
ready to
bell
play
bottoms,
until I've got a suit on, you know.
yeah, the bell bottom. Hey,
Yeah,
I've already split my first pair of bell bottoms at the first 3 gigs I did. So
That means you're doing it right.
There's a bit of a Lenny Kravitz moment.
Yeah, I'm
Man, have you seen that? It's fucking incredible.
I know what a beautifully pierced penis that was.
So Biffy Clyro is actually quite special to us in a way, aren't they? In the sense, not so much the band and their music, but
thanks, man.
That came along.
Backhanded compliment there.
Well, so my partner is Scottish. She's been in the country for 7 years, but she's Scottish, and I always try and do the accent
so badly. Come on. Johnny loves trying an accent and has almost never pulled it off.
But
Johnny, I've got to hear this, man.
Our reset is to say Biffy Clyro. Biffy Clyro. Or my girlfriend said to me, say Spice Girls, but say Space Ghettos. Space Ghettos. Yeah, in it like Space Ghettos.
I like how you're inhabiting the kind of top part of your palate there.
Yeah.
In the tone of your voice.
Thank you very much.
The problem is, if he goes for more than one word, he loses it. So he can do like the little sentence, but if he tries to do like a whole like continuation of it, it instantly goes like Jamaican. So he has to bring it back to
all my accents end up with Jamaican or something like that as well. It doesn't matter where or
Yeah,
Welsh, French.
I'm gonna say, yeah, Jamaican or Indian. It's very, very culturally insensitive.
You
I
know,
need a thing, though.
the worst thing we've done with our accents is call our band Biffy Clyro, because honestly, wherever we go in the world, they pronounce it different. In France, it's Biffy Clyro. In America, it's Biffy Clyro. You know, it's honestly the vowels in that fucking name. It's like I almost got it tattooed in the tips of my fingers, so that if someone asked the name of my band, I just went like that, and it said
Read it.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, the tips of the fingers, just so you can fucking jab it.
Yeah, no, you need it up the top, like Biffy Clyro, then underneath, you prick.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you've done it again, though. You've done it again with this band name, because like Australians, we say bastard.
Yeah.
Whereas there'd be other people like French would be bastard. Like you would have like the pronunciation is going to be different on that one too.
That's true. That's true. The shorter, the French and the kind of Scottish delivery is like a lot more aggressive. When you say bastard in Scottish, it's you know, it's a bit friendlier when you guys say it.
We should have made it much easier on Australia and just use the word cunt in there somewhere.
Empire State cunt.
Really rolls off the tongue.
I mean, it does for you guys.
Oh, brilliant.
Funnily enough, that's only the second time that word's ever been used on this channel. And it's never been by one of us. It's both times from the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The first time it was a female as well.
Wow. Are we like, who brought the Virgin Sea bomb, if you don't mind
It
me
was
asking?
Han from Hot Milk.
Oh,
right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We're
I don't
keeping
know
up our end of the
I don't know if
fucking
you've ever
bargain.
spoken to those guys, but oh boy, that was a chaotic conversation. That was a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah, they
Out of control.
honestly, it's one of the first times we've ever had to cut out something that one of us has said in an interview. Normally, we're pretty good, and I think we just got carried away with the excitement of it.
We'll tell you what it was afterwards.
Yeah. Let's not go into while you're recording. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's ask them. I feel like these guys would appreciate some would you rather's.
Oh,
Who's
Christ.
gonna win in a fight? Gandalf.
Simon.
Or-
Oh, sorry.
I like that you just self-effacing. Oh, Simon's got me. I'm a little bitch. It's fine.
Gandalf or what? Who? Sorry.
Or Dumbledore.
Oh, I mean, I'm going Gandalf every day. Of the week.
Yeah, I'll go. He's taller and all, isn't he? So
My
easy.
question is,
Why-
how well do you guys know Harry Potter?
Oh fuck! Here he goes. Every
Wow.
time someone says
I
Gandalf,
haven't
like,
thought about
like,
this.
you know Dumbledore can do this.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
I've got an
I'm a
11-year-old, so I know
massive
it quite
fan.
well.
Fuck yous all. I like both things equally. I genuinely love Lord of the Rings. I genuinely love Harry Potter. And I feel like you have to have a really good appreciation both to come at it with the right perspective. You don't know fucking
You
Harry
must
Potter,
have faith.
so you're a little bitch.
Fucking
you must have
Lord
a
of the
favorite.
Rings, man.
What one comes first, Nathan? There must be one that's fucking top of the pops.
Probably actually Lord of the Rings, because I was introduced to that by my dad when I was a kid. It was actually The Hobbit.
Wow.
He got me in The Hobbit and then Lord of the Rings. But that was like probably the first like big book that I ever read when I was like 10. So
Yeah,
I
where
think
was it
probably like
from?
the nostalgia of that probably gets that as like the number one for me.
Fantastic. So in your heart of hearts, you know that Gandalf would win. Then
Well, no, I still stand by Dumbledore.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll agree to disagree there.
All right then.
No
All right.
friendship over here. I'll allow it.
You've got to wake up to one of these songs as your alarm clock for the rest of your life. What one are you going to choose?
Stop jumping in.
Creed with Arms Wide Open or Nickelback Photograph?
Oh,
my
for fuck's sake. I don't actually know either song.
See, to be
Bullshit.
honest, Nickelback are Canadians. So I go with Nickelback every day of the week. Creed are dangerous, man. Creed were a dangerous band with dangerous thoughts, dangerous videos, dangerous leather trousers, dangerous Messiah complex. I would always go with the Canadian sense of self.
Yeah.
More.
That's the
Blame
first time we've had
Canada.
that approach.
All I've ever seen of Creed is the Shreds series on
Oh,
YouTube.
dude. One of my
Creed
favorite
Shreds
things
is
ever.
pretty much the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. It's not very politically correct, but it is fucking. I've watched it 1,000 times. It's so good, man.
It's so good.
Okay, along the same lines, then you have to wake up with All Star by Smash Mouth or Tub Thumpin' Chumbawamba.
Oh
Which
God.
one do you go with? Every day, first thing you have to listen to the entire song as soon as you wake up.
I'm going to go
That would be-
Chumbawamba, even though they're like a disgrace to Leeds, where I'm from. But you know, there's not much else to bring that,
They're
that
righteous.
place to
They're
fruition.
righteous at least, aren't they?
Exactly.
Although I have to say, with all this chat of not great music waking us up in the morning, I'm starting to get some suicidal ideation here. I'm like, how many mornings are we going to fucking make?
All right, we'll move away from that one then. We'll move away from shit music. Star Wars universe or the Marvel universe, and who would you play?
Not even a thing, man. Star Wars all day, man.
Yeah, but
Yes.
this is the next part. Who would you play is really going to let us have an insight into what you guys are actually like as people.
Well, all I do is eat pizza and drink beer, so I'll be Jabba the Hutt.
I'm going to Mumford and Sons it and say I want to be Han fucking Solo.
I
I'm that guy.
fucking knew
I'm
it.
that guy.
Yeah.
Does that say a lot about me then, Johnny? Is that,
It does, man. It does. It does. Confident, powerful,
Sexy.
Yeah, we'll leave the
Sexy.
we'll leave the
Yeah.
kissy sister part out of it. That's fine.
That's not Han Solo. That's Luke.
Oh yeah, that was Luke.
Fucking-
my bad.
I know,
Way
but
to
then
be a
Han
character.
dived in. Han dove in. He was ready to get in amongst that threesome as well.
I fucking God, man. That's
Mike's
the
son is
porno we ever
absolutely-
got.
How do you feel
Mike-
about
Mike's-
the updated Star Wars stuff? This is
I
my brother.
literally have just been watching Ahsoka before this interview.
What do you
which
think?
was fantastic. I thought it was great, really good. I didn't enjoy Boba Fett. I didn't enjoy Obi-Wan, but Mandalorian's brilliant. Andor's brilliant. The sequel films are pretty fucking pulling me in high.
Mike and I kind of disagree. I think
Yeah.
that fucking Star Wars is diluted to the point of fucking insipidness. Like, it's just so thinly sketched now. But Mike is keeping the dream alive. But I hate that shit. It's like, give us time to enjoy the last thing before you're putting something else before our nose. I like to
Yeah,
finish my
I can't keep up anymore.
before I eat my meat. Yeah.
We talked about that for a while. I felt
Yeah.
like, there's just too much of it for me to get invested. Like, I tried to watch Ahsoka and I watched 10 minutes and realized I'd taken nothing in. I was like, oh, well, I'm done with this. Like, it hasn't grabbed me. I think I'm done with Star Wars for a while.
Yeah, maybe you should get screened for ADHD as well, man.
Don't think I haven't checked that. Don't think I haven't really checked it.
They keep announcing these fucking phases. It's like they're telling us the next 10 movies we're going to watch. It's like, how about you make the next one decent and then we'll see if we're wanting to watch the one after that. You know, you can
Disney,
tell that
man.
this is a problem for me, man. This is a problem.
Hey, we're
No,
okay with it.
it ain't easy being a Star Wars fan, man, because you have to sort of admit defeat and go, it's not very good, that one, is it?
Is it like
No.
Maiden? Is it like being a Maiden fan, Mike?
It's like Maiden. It's like being a Maiden fan. I don't know if you can see the shot I'm wearing. The greatest t-shirt of all time.
That's great.
That's a sick t-shirt.
Ah.
I want to get back to the music there because I want to talk about like what are in the terms of the heavy space. What are you guys listening to now? What's some heavy stuff that's current that you're listening to?
Well,
Simon sent us an incredible band the other day called Body Void.
Body Void.
Tell them
Okay.
about
It's
Body
the
Void,
heaviest.
man.
It's the heaviest thing you've ever fucking heard. It's a 3-piece band. There's footage of a gig from St. Vitus in New York that I watched over and over. And the first chord they play is one of the most brutal sounding guitar and bass and drum combos I've ever heard. It's the most terrifying chord. It's like they're using fucking telephone what do you call it?
Pylons.
Fucking pylons, those kind of strings. It's so heavy, but Body Void, I think they're
Body Void.
I'm writing
Say
this
it
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Imperial Triumphant are an incredible band. This really avant-garde death metal band from New York. They wear these beautifully kind of ornate chrome masks, but the music they play and the way they kind of break it down, it's close to Portal. It's
Okay.
that kind of intensity where it sounds like they don't know what they're doing, but they actually very much know every fucking thing they're doing. But as a kind of layman, it sounds like it's pure mayhem. And then there's Ithaca, a great hardcore band from the UK.
I know
They've
Ithaca,
been
yeah.
a couple of records out. They're phenomenal. Who else we got?
So the new Armed record is out, which is fucking great. We've been pals with them for a good few years now. You guys look like you can actually be in the band.
I know you guys should join the fucking Armed, man.
Everybody else is in the Armed, so you might as well join as well, man.
We're in. That's
Yeah,
the audition process,
yeah.
right? Simon and Mike said we could join, so
Yeah.
we're in.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
Just tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
All right, so we're going to give them the divisive one.
Yeah, this is the one we've asked every band this. Every band, and it is divisive. I don't know if we have one clear-cut winner, and I might divide you guys. You guys are walking on stage. You are comfortable, dry, ready to rock and roll. You have to put on cold, wet socks or cold, wet underwear. What do you choose and why?
That's a great question. I didn't expect it to end up there at all.
We started in porn, we're going to end in wet porn.
We also asked that question to Evanescence the other night as well.
Yeah.
So, and you could tell Amy has never been asked that question.
I know, yeah, she's like, what do you mean, man? I would go socks because you know what? There's nothing worse than having wet balls that you didn't ask for.
I've got wet underwear doing this interview, man. Yeah, I'll go socks as well.
Both
socks.
That's your team, Nath. Welcome to my family.
Thank you, Nate. Johnny, would you go wet underwear? Would
Dude,
you choose
I'm underwear. Yeah, all the way. I spent like 20 years as a tradesman, as an electrician, and spending a few hours with like wet. If you've been working outside and you get water in your boots, like I can't. Sultana toes, man, they start to split. That shit's fucked. That's disgusting. I hate it.
I hear you. Well, you've got a good reason, man. That's a prime reason to choose that.
And I'm kind of heavy set, so my balls are always wet anyway.
Wow, this is the most Australian interview I've ever done.
Oh, thank you.
And we didn't even drop
Where
a
in
C-bomb.
Australia would we get this kind of chat?
Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time. We are genuinely so stoked on the album. So well done. Thank you for putting something so exciting out there.
Is there any Australian plans at all in the pipeworks? Is it too early to say?
Yeah, we're you know what? It's always the first. Believe it or not, every record we put out, the first thing we ask is when the fuck are we getting to Australia? So we're basically trying to figure it out. You know, it's a long way away. Things are expensive at the moment, but we're picking and choosing special shows and special short runs of shows because we don't want this to become a full time like fucking 6 months on the road. So hopefully you will see us sometime soon, either at the end of the year or in the new year. And yeah, we miss you guys a lot, but really appreciate the support.
Hey, we'll be here and we'll meet up and we'll do something fun.
Love that.
Yeah,
Fucking,
man.
it's a deal. We can wear our pants together.
Yeah, bell bottoms. Thanks so much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Legends.
Oh,
Thanks
it's a
so
pleasure.
much.